look at this. Hey, nice truck. Yes. Ay, ay. Let's go to Las Vegas, everybody. Las Vegas. Let's go to Vegas. Today, someone hit the tandem, the rear, the trailer tandem on the driver's side. I couldn't even talk because when I get too frustrated or upset, I can't express myself. I can't talk. I was so frustrated this afternoon. Right now it's 18:43. It happened around noon. It was pretty much like, I think it was 5 minutes before 1300. I was 0.2 miles from my pickup and this happened. I gotta tell you, I felt hi Pablo, hello, how's it going? Yeah, when something like this happens, guys, it's like your whole world falls on top of your head. It's like you're carrying the whole world's weight on your shoulders. It's a feeling that hurts. One, because it ruins your CDL record, and these companies, they want the drivers to be responsible for everything. And you're gonna understand my point when I say I don't agree in how they do that, because first of all, I work for them per mile, so I don't own the truck. I'm not a lease purchase. I'm not under a subcontract, nothing like that. So the companies, I understand that they have to kind of penalize the driver somehow, but now say that the driver is responsible for whatever deductible they have on their contract with the insurance company. I don't think that's fair, because they in the business to make money as a company, right? As a carrier. So why is it the driver 100% responsible? It shouldn't be, right? I understand and I agree to certain point, where to a certain degree, what the driver should be responsible. If the driver's at fault, I can't even say that I'm at fault. But I was turning left at a light. It's very hard to explain by words. I was at a traffic light under a overpass, under a bridge, very tight corner, and imagine me turning left at that light, right? On my left, there are two lanes coming. Like, there's my lane as I'm turning left, and the two lanes incoming traffic, one lane to the right is turning right, one lane to the left is turning left at that same light, right? So as I'm turning left, the truck creates a L shape, right? So what happened was, as I'm turning, and guys, I do this shit for 12 years. I know what I'm doing. I went wide turn that left. There is a light pole on the corner and a guardrail on that. As I'm turning left, there would be my on that corner. So as I'm making that wide left turn, these two lanes, which would be the incoming traffic, and they need to stop the light when, you know, when it's red for them to stop. One on the right lane turning right, and the one turning right, it would go under that bridge that I was stopped, and the other one would have gone left, right? So as I'm turning left, the guy on the right lane kind of came with the speed that he was. He didn't like slow down at the light or nothing, turning right. So as he came like that, I looked at him to see what he was going to do, if he was going to hit the trailer, right? Remember, he's in the right lane turning right at that intersection, at that light. And the guy on the left, as I was paying attention to the guy who came like aggressive on the right lane turning right, I didn't really pay attention to the guy turning left. And then remember, the light was red for both of them. It was green for me to turn left. And they had to stop, both of them. The one on the right lane turning right, the one on the left lane turning left, the light was red for them. Because I was turning left, because it was green for me. First, I was stopped at the light. It was not like I came on the red light or nothing like that, no. I was stopped at the light, and when the light turned green, I start turning left. And this crazy guy turning right didn't stop and came crazy. So I looked at them I looked on the window and left, and I looked direct to this guy on the right, turning right. Then this guy turning left, I believe that as I was turning, he didn't slow down enough as I was turning right in front of him. And he hit the tire, the trailer tire on my side, on the driver's side. Follow me? And when it was like, guys, it's a fraction of a second, because I was looking at that other guy. When I brought my eyes back to the road, I noticed the guy on the left really close to the trailer. That's when I looked at them directly, and I noticed that he was about 4 inches from my tandem. His front bumper on his driver's side was, the corner of the front bumper was about 4 inches from my tandems. And I stopped right there. I stopped, boom, I stopped, right? That's when I was able to see that the front bumper was about 4 inches from my tires. And then, you know, your brain, it's so quick that I thought, like, did this guy hit the tire in reverse real quick? Is that what happened? So, but because it was an intersection, what I should have done was not cared about the traffic and stopped for that. Look what he was doing. I should have just put the truck in park, go outside. The truck would have been in the format of an L, in the shape of an L, letter L as in Lima. So I should have left the truck right there parked on the middle of the street on that intersection, walked out of the truck, take a picture of the truck, showing the truck and his car about 4 inches from my tandem. Because honestly, if I'd done that, I would have been able to be 100% certain where exactly my tandem were. If they were like way from the white line, because there was white line right there for them to stop, and he was before the white line. But that doesn't mean that he was stopped. He could have just been moving, and he hit that slowly, very slowly, because it was a red light for him. So what I think happened was he boom hit that tandem, and he reversed the car real quick, right? And then because of the intersection, the traffic, I moved the truck because there was like an open on the grass. You see the shoulder here on my right? Instead, I was not on the highway. This was on the east side of, it was in east side of the town, right? It was on a regular street. So it was not a highway. It was not a regular shoulder. But imagine the shoulder grass. But you know when people park back and forth and then they kill the grass and then it's just dirt? So there was this opening on the grass, and I just moved the truck 200-300 feet away and parked the truck there to take the truck out of the street, right? Because otherwise I would have been blocking the whole thing. But what I should have done was what I just said. And the minute that I noticed that, I should have walked out of the truck, taken picture of the whole thing, catching the whole truck, the front bumper to the end, and catching where the car was and where my rear tandem was. So that way I would have been able to say this is exactly what the tandem were. They were just before that white line. So that means that that car, that guy hit the tire and reversed a little bit, and it was about 4 to 5 inches from my his corner, his front bumper corner, driver side was about 4 to 5 inches from my tandems, from my tires. And because the driver's side corner in his car isn't damaged, guys. If I didn't hit that guy with that trailer, and he said, "Yeah, you were too fast in that corner," asshole, I was not. As a matter of fact, I was stopped. And when I was moving, I was so slowly, I was like a turtle, because I was going on that, making that left, and it was a very tight left. So I was not going fast at all. I was less than a mile per hour. And he's like, "Yeah, you were too fast." Liar. And that's one more reason for me to think that he did hit that tire, and he reversed real quick. And that's when, if I did take that picture showing the truck, the tractor and the trailer and his car, going in front of the truck, and catching a picture showing the whole truck and his car, that way I would have been able to say, hey, that's exactly what I stopped when I was making the turn, that I looked in the mirror and I looked in the window and I noticed that guy that close. And again, I was paying attention to that other guy on the right. That's why I didn't catch it 100%. So that's when I brought my vision back, I noticed that guy was so close to my trailer, the guy that was turning left. And that's when I, boom, stopped. And that's when I should have taken the picture. That was my mistake. Because if I took that picture, it would have showed what the rear of my trailer had stopped. And then I would have been able to say 100% that he hit that tire and reversed real quick, because he went over, in my thought, he went over that white line where he should have stopped. And since that happened, he backed up real quick, because that's, that would have been, if he didn't, that would have proved right there that he's the one who hit the tire. But since he backed up to the line, it's hard to say verbally, what exactly happened. And I hate lies. I don't like lies. And I cannot affirm 100% exactly what happened, because I did not notice 100% what happened. And if I took that picture, man, that picture would have saved me if I'm right, if it was not my fault. And that's one thing that a 360-degree camera will do for you. I don't care if I'm wrong and I have a 360-degree camera and the camera catches me if I make a mistake. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I don't care. If the camera catches me making a mistake, it's my mistake. Some people are afraid to have a camera because if they make a mistake, they screw it up, and then the camera proves them wrong, and then they're afraid of that. I don't think that way. I don't think that way. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But the camera, if I'm right, the camera is going to show who's wrong or right. And unfortunately, it was not the case because I don't have a 360-degree camera. And oh man, that ruined my day, because most of these companies, they hold an escrow. Some of them holds $2,500, some of them holds $3,000, some of them holds, most of them holds 2 weeks, because they say, oh, we're not holding anything. Yes, they are. Even if they say, oh, we're holding 1 week, it's possible to hold 1 week. Do you know why it's impossible? Because they always pay you the first week and the second week you work. And 2 weeks from now is when you get the check for the week you just finished, for your first week. So let's say you start on Monday, you're not gonna get paid the Friday on the same week. You're gonna get paid the following Friday. So when they pay you on the following Friday, they paying you for the first week that you finished. They're not paying you for both weeks. So they always owe you, and until they make that payment on Friday of the second week, they owe you 2 weeks, pretty much. Because you have 1 full week and you're about to finish the other week, and they haven't paid you yet. So that means they owe you 2 weeks until they make that first week payment, plus the escrow. And what these companies do, they manipulate drivers. This company is not so bad. I want to see when I leave them what they're going to do, if they're going to keep my money. I hope they don't do that. I hope they don't play like that with me. But anyways, that's what happens, man. That's one of the reasons why I don't like trucking at all. It's a whole bunch of crooks in this industry, especially companies out of Chicago. Most of them. I'm not saying they're all the same. Most of them, right? And guys, I'll work day and night. You have to see how dirty I am, how dirty my pants, my shirts are, because I sweat. I'll work like, I was gonna say like a mutt, you know what I mean? But anyways, so in other words, like I was saying, I don't think it's fair that if the insurance companies charge, if they have a contract with the insurance company of $2,500 deductible, I don't think it's fair that they take that $2,500 deductible out of the driver's pay, bro. I don't think it's fair, because they also in the business to make money. They also responsible for what happens here. Why do they want to put everything on the driver's back? You see what I mean? That I don't think that's legal for them to do that, especially when I'm not a owner operator, when I'm not a contractor working as a subcontractor or lease under their companies. I get paid per mile, right? So, and also the other thing that a lot of people don't know, did you know, I don't know if it's state to state, but you're not subcontractor, you can only sign as a subcontractor when you own the equipment. I don't know if you knew that. You're not a subcontractor if you do not own the equipment, which I don't own equipment. I work for them, right? I work for them, not per hour, but by the mile. So you have no idea how frustrated I am. Because if they do keep my money, guys, that's not in day for a whole 7 days working. Can you imagine? Can you imagine you work day and night and all the things that you go through in this industry? So you have no clue how I was feeling. I'm still feeling that way, but the time goes by and the pressure, everything goes away little by little, but stays there like I forgot the name. You know when you hurt yourself and it leaves a mark? There is a right name for that. I forgot. What is it? When you get hurt and part of your skin comes out, and then when it dries, it still leaves that mark. What's the name of that? I forgot. So what I'm trying to say is, as it happens, the first hours, you feel so frustrated. It's so much pressure because your brain starts thinking about every second you work, all the sacrifice, all the sweat, and then in the blink of an eye, you lose everything, which in a very unfair way. Only who goes through something like this feels what I'm feeling. But the hours goes by and it kind of alleviates a little bit. But still there. The pain is still there. It doesn't matter how much time it goes by unless I get rich, like win the lottery or something very, 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 very positive happens in my life in order to cover that pain. Obviously, if I have a whole bunch of tickets, lottery tickets that I haven't checked for the whole year. Let's say I start checking my tickets and I won the Mega or the Powerball, right? Then I become millionaire overnight, right? Obviously, with something like that, when I think about the ticket, not a ticket, I did not get a ticket, but when I think about the incident, what happens, and if I did win the lottery, for instance, the happiness is so huge that it's gonna cover that pain because it's financial pain. Nobody got hurt, I didn't get hurt, the guy didn't get hurt, nobody got hurt. So it's all financial pain. And what happens to my driver's license record, which is also financial pain, because if something goes wrong with my license, it hurts me financially, because I'll have a hard time finding a good company to work. If I open a business, have to put insurance in my business, things like that is going to hurt me financially. So it's a financial pain. So if I win the lotto, that money is not going to make any difference for me. So you see what I'm talking about? Then that pain is going to disappear. If you understand my point. But anyways, I tell you, you know when you're so anxious, it's not anxious, when you're so frustrated that your throat, it's like if it's clogged. Like, you can talk, you can breathe, you get so upset. That's how I've been feeling all day. You see how this car is driving from me right here? He was going like a snake. You see it? Look at him. He's on the phone, or she. He's on the phone. God forbid something happens as I'm passing her or him, and something happens. He hits the tire, hits the truck, whatever, and we pull over to the shoulder. He's gonna lie to his teeth, saying that I was speeding, saying that I cut him off, whatever. Because that's what people do. That's what people do. In 100 people, it's very hard for you to find half a person that's honest these days. It's very difficult to find somebody who's really honest. So, frustration in this job, in this industry, it's, you have no clue. You have no idea. You get the shipper and receivers, they mistreat you. You have no clue. That's why I say IHE. The word starts with H, ends with E, trucking. Because I'm dying to get out of this. I'm dying to get out of this. You have no clue how much I want to get out of this. You have no idea how much I want to get out of this. I don't sleep. I don't eat well. I don't sleep well. I don't have a social life. I live in a truck 24/7. Christmas, New Year's, birthdays. I'm always inside of a truck for the last 12 years. For the last 12 years, not 12 days, guys. For the last 12 years. I'm not like the regular driver that goes home every 3 or 4 weeks. I live in a truck 24/7. Snow, minus 20, minus 30, above 120, 115 out there. I'm working. How many times there was something wrong with the AC and I'm in Arizona, California, Texas, Florida? How many times? The heat was like, man, there was a time, I believe I was in Houston area, Dallas, I don't remember anymore. It also happened in California, also happened in Arizona, also happened in Florida. But I remember this time I was in Texas, somewhere in Texas. Man, the heat was, I think it was 120 and it felt it was 150. I swear to God, I thought the curtains, like, you know, the rubber or whatever these curtains are made of, I thought they were gonna melt. I thought they were gonna melt. The paint of the truck, I thought they was gonna melt. That's how hot it was in Texas. And I was there with no AC. I remember that as if it was 5 minutes ago. And the same happened in California. I was like, you know, a shrimp. I was like, I remember this. I was climbing a mountain, about to get to Los Angeles. You know, right after the, if you know that area, I believe it's 80. Is it 80? 215, 15, I don't remember anymore. Route 5, I don't know. But it's the route right past the scale. And it's a mountain right after the scale starts this mountain. And the truck was going like freaking 5-10 miles per hour climbing that mountain. And I turned the camera towards my face. Man, my face was like, I was like a freaking shrimp. Because the truck had no AC. So when it's cold, when it's the winter, even if something happens with the engine and I have no heat, I don't care. Because I usually have too many blankets to cover myself. But when it's heat, when it's hot, and you don't have AC, and that engine is running all day, it combines the natural heat, the natural weather heat, plus the heat from the engine of the truck. If you're a trucker and you've been through that, you know what I'm saying. Man, I tell you, you can fry an egg on your chest or on your forehead. That's how hot your body gets. That's how your blood stops boiling. So, and then there's all the headaches that you go through on the regular highway in traffic. It doesn't mean if it's in the highway or if it's in town somewhere in the city or whatever. The ignorance of most drivers. You have no clue what you go through on this. You have no idea. I know some drivers, you know, some truck drivers are, you know, SOBs as well. But the four-wheelers, oh my God. You have no idea the ignorance that we go through on a daily basis. But anyways, guys, please like, subscribe. It'll help the channel. This is my second week doing live. I appreciate if you like, if you hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I want to grow this channel, guys. I want to see millions and millions of you subscribe to my channel. I promise there's a lot to come on these channels. I'm gonna make more channels down the road. I'm gonna improve the cameras. Down the road, I'm leaving trucking and I'm starting something else. I would love for you guys to follow me in whatever I'm doing here in the United States or in Brazil or anywhere else in the world. I love you guys to follow me, and years from now have the same subscribers, majority of you that started from day one with me following my videos. I wish in few years to come I'll still see people that subscribe to my channel watching my videos once in a while, you know. I really do appreciate you. I have to stop at Walmart before they close because I don't even have water in my truck. I have to stop for water, to buy some food, and not only that, I HE this truck. Oh man, there's a Walmart right here. Look at this, and lots of space. Look at this. This is what I should have stopped. I gotta get some groceries, get water. Because I'm on my last, somebody last night, as I spent the night at a receiver, there was a guy also waiting to get unloaded this morning, and he had told me that he went to Walmart, because when I got there last night, he was already there. I got there around, I don't know exactly what time I got there last night. I think, I'm not going to say because I don't remember exactly what time it was. I think it was 1900. And a very nice guy. He's from Algeria. We start talking as I was going to walk to the receiving because I saw some docks open. And I was going to walk to the receiver. And as I was walking towards the door to the receiver, I had to walk by his truck, and as I was walking around his truck, he opened the window, opened the door, and said, hey buddy, hey buddy, hey buddy. I said, what's up, my friend? He says, there's nobody here. And the doors, some doors were open, like the dock doors. And he says, there's nobody there. But there was like the section for receiving and the section for shipping. And the shipping, there was somebody working there in the warehouse, with the dock door open. And he was backed up to one of the doors, I think it was door number 2. And he says, why don't you back up here to dock 1? I says, I'm getting unloaded tomorrow morning. I don't know if I back up to that dock, if they'll have some other truck coming in and before me in order to get unloaded, and I'm locking the door. And he said, no, I've been here since 3 p.m., since 1500, and there's nobody there. And I said, oh, you've been here since 1500? He said, yes. And he says, I just came back from Walmart. And I said, well, how far is Walmart from here? And he says, 4 miles. And then he says, but don't go over there with the trailer. I dropped my trailer here and I went there bobtail. Bobtail is just with the tractor, right? And he says, don't go over there with the trailer because it's very tight over there. And if you go over there, go just with the bobtail, just with the tractor. And I was very tired and I didn't feel going to Walmart, but I only had the water. Like now, I only had the water that I had on my thermal, is, you know, the cooler thing. It's like 1.5 bottle, regular bottle of water, you know. That's how much my thermal holds. And so I knew this is the only water I had. So I asked him, and since he just told me he came from Walmart, I asked him, do you want to sell me 4 bottles of water? Can you sell me 4 bottles of water since you just came from Walmart? We truckers, when we go to Walmart, we get, you know, 2, 3, 25 or 30 something bottles of water each. You know, because we storage them in the truck, because we don't go to Walmart every day. So we get 2 or 3 of those 32 or 35 bottles of water each package. So I asked him, do you want to sell me 4 bottles of water? And he says, no, here. So he gave me a gallon of water. Instead of bottles, he gave me a gallon of water. He says, here, buddy. And he gave me a yogurt. He gave me a yogurt, he gave me a bottle of water, and what else? Oh, he came with a cheese, and he offered me to cut half of his cheese. His cheese was on the plastic bag. It was not even open yet. And he offered me to cut half of it. I said, no, please, no. The guy was very nice. I told him, I says, you're just like me. You have no clue how many people I already helped with money. People, you know, when you stop at a truck stop and some guys come say, oh, I'm out of gas, I need some money for gas. I know, sometimes they just want money for, you know what I mean? But how many times I gave somebody 20 bucks, 40 bucks, 60 bucks. There was a time also I stopped coming from West Coast. I don't know which state I was coming from, heading towards east. And I stopped at a rest area in the middle of nowhere. And I noticed this trucker. It was just me and him. I think there was another trucker over there on that rest area. And I noticed this guy with the hood open. And I noticed that he was checking his antifreeze. And he was having an issue with the antifreeze reservoir. So it was not holding antifreeze, so he was empty. 32 packages of water, and I gave half to him. I took like 15, 17 bottles of water to this guy. He couldn't believe. I just the way that he reacted, I noticed that he couldn't believe that I was doing that. I said, no, I didn't have any other water. I didn't have any freeze. I didn't have anything to offer. So I offered him my drinkable water. I gave him half of that package. That's one of the things. And the guy didn't ask. I noticed that he was having an issue. I walked over there with the water. I did not go over there and ask if he needed. I went with the water because I noticed what the issue that he was having. And we were in the middle of nowhere. So I walked it over there with a whole bunch of bottled waters, and I said, here, buddy, use this so you can climb that mountain. And maybe when you climb the mountain, maybe there is a Mama's and Papa's gas station or whatever, so you can park there and wait for a mechanic to help you out. or whatever, you know, other than staying at a rest area where there is no food, there is nothing at a rest area in the middle of nowhere. It's not these regular rest areas with vending machines, no. And even if there was vending machines, these vending machines, there is nothing on these vending machines other than $3 for a can of soda. But anyways, and that's nothing. How many people I helped in my life? And this guy yesterday, when he was doing that for me, I looked at him in the eye and I said, bro, if you only knew me, if you only knew how I am, and what you're doing for me right now, you're just like me. When it comes to that, you're just like me. I'm the same way. Because he had an open heart helping me out. I didn't ask him. I didn't ask him for yogurt. I didn't know he had a yogurt. I didn't ask him for cheese. And I didn't even ask him for water either. I offered to purchase 4 waters from him, 4 bottles of water. And instead, he gave me a gallon of water and brought me a closed bag of cheese. You know, one of those cheese that you buy that's still covered with the bag, plastic bag? Yeah, that's why I say bag of cheese. And the yogurt. He was a very nice gentleman. Very nice gentleman. God bless him. God bless him and his family. God bless him. And God bless everyone who's nice and helps one another. We all need someone. We all need someone. No one lives by themselves in this world. You see, this is what kills me. You see this here? This car in front of me? When I was trying to get in, he wouldn't slow down for me to get in. But as I got behind him, he started slowing down. This is one of issues that we go through on the road. Everyone is seeing that the right lane ends. There's a construction over there. They're half a mile behind you. You put your signal that you're changing lanes. They speed up not to let you in. Does that make sense? Can somebody explain to me and please convince me that that makes sense? Instead of slowing down and let the person get in, why are you going to speed up and not let the person in? Tell me when in the world you're going to be driving and you're not going to get to, you're not going through the same situation. We all go through the same situation. Whether you're trying to get in and somebody doesn't let you in. Let's be different. Let's be nice. Let's respect one another. This Jeep that's going to go right now, this right here, the minute I looked in my mirror, he was way back. The minute I looked in the mirror, he speed up not to let me in. And sometimes what they do, you get in, as they passing you, after right now, like I went to the right and he passed, as they passing you, they open their windows, start showing their fingers. Some of them wave like if they had a gun in their hand towards you, like if they were going to shoot you. Some of them do all that and throws their car or whatever they're driving right in front of your bumper there, like 5 inches from your front bumper, and cut you off, and it stop brake checking you. and giving you fingers. We're in century 21st. Instead of people getting smarter, I'm not, see this right here? I cannot go because there was that car on the left. I cannot. I cannot change lanes. I had to go. And here's the other thing. When you do, see as that car, that emergency truck was there. And this is for truckers now. Some truckers, as they're approaching that emergency vehicle, and people are coming in the left lane, sometimes you're so close to them, almost side by side, in case if the person on the left, sometimes they didn't see the emergency truck, whatever, and they cut you off right there. Instead of slowing down and passing near that truck safely, they cut you off. Like, truck is like 2 feet from the rear bumper, like almost side by side with them, and they cut you off with the truck. Truckers do that to one another, left and right. And how many times you're driving down the road, you're going 65 or 70, whatever limit, whatever speed limit, and let's say that truck over there, you see how far that truck is? And let's say there's a truck like a quarter of a mile or further, half a mile, whatever, and you're going, as you approach him, you go to the left lane to pass him because he doesn't want to let you go, even though that he's so far from that truck in front of him. He cuts you off once you get close to his truck. Instead of letting you go, he cuts you off. Just so he holds you. Truckers knows what I'm saying. If there's any truckers watching this. Obviously, some people, like I used the example of that emergency truck, some people have the time to wait. Like, let's say, for instance, let's say I'm here, right? Let's say I'm this distance from that truck. You see how far that car is in front of him? And if I'm going like faster than him, once I approach the rear of his trailer, he has no reason to cut me off, but he cuts me off in order to pass that truck over there in front of him. You see that? Now, you see how far he is from that truck? Let's say from right here, and then boom, he cuts me off. That happens a lot. And the other example is that emergency truck that was there. If I was that distance that I showed on the left lane, and I see that emergency vehicle, and I'm that far from that truck, what's the common sense? I'm gonna slow down or go on my speed a little slower than him. Yeah, I would slow down. So he changed lanes safely instead of forcing him to go to drive near that emergency truck, if you know what I'm saying. Like, for instance, let's use this RV, for instance. See how far I am from this RV? Let's say the same distance that is a truck or car, whatever, on the shoulder, emergency vehicle, right? What I'll do is I'll flash, I'll blink, so this RV would get in front of me, so he didn't have to drive close to that emergency truck or car, whatever, on the shoulder. That's the common sense. Not speeding up, forcing him to go against that. Anyways, obviously I'm not perfect. No one is. We all make mistakes. We all make wrong decisions. You see the emergency over there? See the truck changing lanes? This is what I'm talking about. So I see that truck putting the signal to avoid that emergency truck. Why am I going to speed up not to let him in? Why would I do that? And people do that left and right. See what I'm saying? There's a car on my left. I'm going to go behind her now to pass him. I was going to use an example if there was somebody in front of him. I was going to use an example when they cut you off. He sees me going faster than him, and then there's somebody in front of him from here to this bridge, and then he sees me almost reaching up to him. Instead of staying in his lane and wait until I pass whoever's in front of him so he can get behind my truck, he just cuts me off, not to let me go. This is what I'm using also as an example. But anyways, guys, I'm just explaining the things that, you know, after certain times, certain years and years of doing this, everything starts piling up. It's like building up. And you start getting aggravated, you start getting frustrated, and that's when a lot of drivers have a stroke, heart attack, gain weight, because all this stress, become diabetic, it goes overweight, because that's how it is. It's a very, very stressful job. Very stressful job. I tell you, it's trucking, especially when you live inside of a truck the way I do, 24/7. Never go home, don't have a home, don't have family here. Sleeping on the side of roads. I never sleep on the ramp, I never sleep on the shoulder like this. But at rest areas, how many times you get to rest area? You get to the rest area at 5 p.m. and the rest area is already full. No space whatsoever. And then you drive another 30, 40, 50, 60 miles trying to stop at the next one. And the next one is or closed, and it's 2 in the morning, 1 in the morning, 3 in the morning, 6 in the morning, 5 a.m., 4 a.m., midnight, 2300, 11 p.m., and you already worked all day, and you can't even find a place to park. You go to Walmart to get groceries, they'll put a poop on your tires, on your wheels, and charge you $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 in order to remove that boot so you can move. And they call the police. Once they pull that boot, they already called the police. When you get back from Walmart, you can't move, and they're sitting with the police waiting for you to pay in order for you to leave. You go to deliver a load, how many times you get close to a delivery, it's signs everywhere, no trucks, no trucks, no trucks, no trucks, every street, no trucks, no trucks, no trucks. It's like everybody needs the goods, right? You need a store close to you, right? The closer the better, right? A mile, 2 mile, 3 mile from your home. So you go buy your groceries, you go buy your children's milk, right? You go buy a part for your car, right? You go buy something for whatever. Who you think is going to bring that to that store, to that supermarket or convenience store or a dealer or whatever have you, auto parts, whatever, a hospital that you need, anything you touch, it was moved by a trucker. And then it seems like society don't want truckers. Everywhere we go, it's no trucks, no trucks. When a driver, I understand that some drivers are really bad drivers. I understand that. You see a lot of crazy situations on YouTube, right? Got no sun protection. The sun visor, it's like a freaking car. Sun visor protector. Let me show you. See what I'm going through here? See this? This is like for a car. See the sun on my face?